Hi, everyone. Well, I'm here with Mr. Johnson de Souza, who is going to share some experiences about how, well, he is, all the process of buying real estate in Colombia and also working as an entrepreneur. So it would be interesting to know his experience and his story. Hello, Johnson. How is everything?
Hey, good, good. How are you doing, Mauricio?
Fine, fine. Thank you. Thank you for accepting this invitation and taking the time to share a little bit about what you have been in this journey of buying a property in Colombia and also working, in fact, because you also have like an investment that you are also developing. So, well, I'm going to introduce Mr. Johnson. He's born in born in India, but he has spent most of his life in the United States, working and living in the United States. And after a long time of hard work, he decided to retire, buying a land in Colombia. So, Johnson, what's your first approach to Colombia? Why Colombia?
Well, actually, I've been traveling a lot, Asia, Europe, South America. And the first time I came to Colombia was in the year 2003. And I absolutely loved this place. I came like two, three times after that. But because of my job, I really couldn't travel that much. It was always a weekend excursion, coming over here, going to like beach places like Cartagena or Bogota or something like that. Uh, so when I was planning my retirement, I wanted to find a place where I can spend my time. Once the retirement in the US, the money goes a long way in South America. It really goes a long way.
Mhm.
So I was looking at places, and I looked at Ecuador, Costa Rica, Argentina, most places, and then I settled on Colombia. One of the things about Colombia is the people are very, very respectful, accommodating. Uh, the questions you ask them, they're always very cheerful and telling. Uh, and there is a lot of history out here. Of course, all of South America has history, but there is a lot of history here, and the food is excellent. The food is something that draws everybody out here, and different parts of the country have different foods that is completely different. You go to the coast, you get fish. You go to the mountains, you get the chicken and all those things. It's completely different. So that's what drew me over here.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because it seems for your work, you have been traveling to a lot of places. That kind of thing that you were, or just do it just for vacations or wanting to know some places.
Mostly I traveled when I was working for vacations. I just wanted
Okay.
to see. I actually started my retirement planning almost 10 years ago because I really didn't want to wait for the last minute. So I started almost 10 years ago, and that's where we started. I started looking at places as to where I can go in the future and settle, and still use the retirement buying power from the US to a different country. And I'll be honest with you, I did think about other countries before I settled into Colombia. I did think about Costa Rica, but Costa Rica is basically a little bit more expensive than most other countries in South and Central America. I really didn't want Mexico. And then finally, I settled on Colombia almost 2, 3 years ago. I settled on Colombia.
Well, yeah, what you say is that you know a lot of countries in Latin America. And it's not a secret that maybe Colombia is not the first choice for many foreigners because, insecurity or those of things that the media also portray. And I'm not gonna lie that we have issues here as any other part of the world. Just to say an example, but what was this thing that maybe you said, no, I'm gonna stay in Colombia? The food,
Um,
basically.
well, the food, of course, the food. I don't want to show you my food belly, but yeah, food, yes.
It was an
uh,
important factor.
yeah, yeah. The Well, it's mostly the food plus the people. The climate is very good, especially if you go up in the mountains and all. The climate is really good, and where I'm located, the it's always cool. It's not that hot. It's raining. Yes, it's raining because that's what the atmosphere is. But it's not raining all the time. Raining in the evening, which is okay. The climate is really, really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, and if you have good, what do you call that, representation and good guidance, you can easily set up shop here. Uh, I wouldn't recommend going alone unless somebody knows the ins and outs of the place. But yes, if you have good recommendation and good guidance, like the way you helped me out when I approached you, it makes it really, really easy to set up shop in here. Whether you're buying land for the future use or just buying a house or buying an apartment, it makes it really helpful. And of course, the people don't really look at you, oh, he's a foreigner, let's just find out if we can scam him. No. If you avoid the places, the not so good places, and if you use common sense, and of course, traveling a lot has helped me do that also. Use a lot of common sense. You can avoid all this riffraffs. You can easily avoid. um, I've been here since 2020. Of course, I was working. I used to come and go. But that's another part as to why I used to travel so much over here. It's also for some medical reasons also. But apart from that, I use my common sense, and 99.9% of the time I avoided all the riffraffs around me. In fact,
Yeah.
I felt I was very safe over here.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this journey about because you said that you were planning your retirement since 10 years ago. And one of the things that you also told me is what that you wanted to retire or buying a property that you can also work or use your time in, not only just buying a property and receive a rent, something that you can put your hands on. So that's why you also in your plans, maybe one of the things was finding this specific land where you can do what you want, develop the things that you want. And I remember you contacted me in April 2021, and you already were starting the process of buying a finca. You already was decided to and the place where you wanted to buy. Let's talk about how was this process of finding this property.
Okay. So in early 2020, I came to visit 2 3 times that year, and I started looking for real estate agents. This is before I contacted you. I contacted
Yeah,
you in
yeah,
2021, I believe.
yeah,
Uh, so I came over here with my brother. We started looking at places, and everywhere I went, I had hiccups. I, First of all, they knew I was not represented by a lawyer or anybody else. Um, Coming from the states, I had the mentality of the business that we do in the states. So I used that mentality, and which was totally wrong. You just cannot do that. It's very difficult to do that. Uh, on the states, I can tell you it's very organized. You can go online, look for things, look for titles, look for liens, and all those things, which is very difficult over here. You definitely need representation as to who can guide you and who can maneuver the system, who can navigate the system to find you what you need. And of course, you did that for me. But before that, at every corner, I had a roadblock. I don't want to go into details because I told you what happened with me.
Yeah,
Uh, they wanted 50% down even before they wanted to talk to me about the land. Oh, if you want the land, we can sell it overnight to somebody, and this and that, and all those fake things that they used to say. But anyway, uh, I was a little bit smarter than them, and I did not go for that. But I wasted almost a year, actually more than a year and 3 4 months trying to navigate that, and I did not get anywhere. Finally,
yeah,
frustrated, I started looking on Google for real estate agents, and then I found you. I'll be honest with you, I did have other, I looked at a lot of other people also, but what drew me to you was you had all the questions and answers on your website, and you had no problems answering the questions. You were just available for me every time I asked questions. I texted you, you had a reply back, and I felt really comfortable working with you than the other people that were there. And see, my, what do you call that? My initiative, or rather my thoughts, uh, you can see the what do you call that, the progress that we made over the past 1 year. And
yeah.
that was the best decision I ever made, was contacting you. That was the best decision I ever made.
Thank you. Yeah, and something important that you mentioned before is what, and that's another recommendation that I'd also tell to foreigners, is use common sense. Basically, sometimes the thing that also you said about thinking that maybe as in the States everything is regulated, everything is clear, and there is a basic method, they find out that it's not the same, and you can find things that maybe you were aware of. So that type of thinking is important also, but you need someone who can guide you in the process to achieve what you want. So that common sense also helps you to say, okay, I need a someone who can represent me, because it's not easy that, or it's not uh, common that someone asks money for a property, even if you were having a grease setting. So that's the kind of things that all the time I receive people already having the problems, but well, in this case, that was the opportunity where I was able to help you, and yeah, we overcome a lot of issues that maybe there you were not aware at the beginning, and even we had it to solve it, not in 3 months. Maybe we wo- we spent almost a year to finally get over the things. Uh, that's one of the things that you also feel, that having this accompaniment with you give you the confidence to go through the deal.
That's correct. Yes, yes. I was very comfortable with your service, and of course, you send somebody local to help me out. Oh, he was excellent. He was excellent. He crossed all the, what do you call, the dots, and crossed the T's, or dotted the dots, whatever the word is. But he did everything right and made sure he protected me. It was the best thing that has happened in that deal. Um, he made sure the paperwork was right, and when the other party tried to navigate a little bit off, he pulled them back, right back. He said, "This is not the way we are going to do things. This is the way you're going to do things. You want
Yeah,
to sell, I want to buy. This is the way we're going to do things." And that's what happened. And if I may add, it's not only when buying property. Uh, For my property, I had to buy one of the cars, a 4x4, to go up to the property and buy things and all those things. Even in that case, there were people left and right uh, who say, "Oh, this car is good. You like it? You give me 50% down, send cash, and then we can transfer." And every time you try to make a deal, they want cash in hand, and I just refused. I said, "No, no. You have a property to sell," and I learned from your person, the one that you sent me. I don't want to use the name for privacy's sake, but he's the
Yeah,
one who taught me.
some part of our team, and that's
Yeah, that's
something
correct.
that's important to know. Well, Johnson doesn't want to be specific in the area, but I mean, I'm at the east, and where Johnson bought the property is the southeast of the country. So is we are in different places, but we can help you because we also have a team that could assist you. No.
That's correct. Yes, yes. And I was actually skeptical as first because people say a lot. But when you send this person and he contacted me right away, the same day you told me I'm going to send you this person, let's make this deal. He contacted me the same way, and throughout the thing, he says, "Okay, I am here. I'll be 2 hours away. I'm going to meet you at a location," and he was there. After the first initial work was done, he looked at the property. Put he basically set the terms with the other agent that this is what we are going to do. He set the terms. He didn't let the other person set the terms, which was like, I'm like amazed, and said, "This is what we do in the States, not here." But he knew exactly how to handle, and that's what made it so easy. Of course, there was the stress that same day about the money part and this work, that work. As you know, the hypotheca was cleared recently, like around 2 months ago, and it's because of the banks. The banks also do not move on anything. It's like they have a paper trail, but they do not really move on clearing that trail. But
Hmm.
but finally, after almost a year, everything is done, and that was not a concern because we did have a signed document saying that there was no liens on the property and that we could always go back to the owner if he lied about it. So we
Yeah.
always had that paper with us, so there was no concerns at all. But yes, the whole process went really smooth. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work because it's different, but it went really smooth. And of course, thanks to you. It wouldn't have been possible if I did not have somebody watching my back all the time. I can tell you that. I just didn't think it was possible.
No, I'm glad to know that you are happy now in your property. Well, you said that maybe you don't want to go in details, but uh, I don't know if you want to share what is the business or the type of business that you are doing in your finca, because it's a finca. And if you want to talk a little bit more now that you, in this year, what have you accomplished and what are you enjoying, or how are you enjoying your property?
Well, it's been 18 months since I have my property. When I bought the property last year, just to give you an idea, it had like around 12,000 trees, and it was not performing at all. It was just not performing. It has got to do with the previous owners also. But as soon as I bought the property, having a background in management and everything, I put a process in place. It's all about processes. Um, right now, I am almost totaling 45,000 plants. Those plants are not ready to produce, but from the previous year, my sales have almost doubled. Like in the first 5 months of the year, I have touched my sales of fruits from the entire last year. So this year it looks really promising, almost double the sales. So in the last year, what I've done on the property is, uh, and of course, the gentleman that helped me out from your office stayed in touch even after the work was done, and he guided me as to what I should do, what I should not do, and gave me the contacts of at least three other people to help my property do things on my property. Basically, it's a coffee farm slash citric farm slash avocado slash plantain slash cacao. We have like five varieties on the farm. The citrus is the most producing right now, but later on this year, the coffee is going to take citrus by almost 80 to 90%.
Okay.
Uh, the avocados is going to come up by next year. All the plants are healthy, except for a few. There's always a few that do not grow healthy. Other reasons like fertilizers and all those things. But yes, it's around 45,000 plants right now, up from 12,000 from when I took over the farm.
45,000?
Yes, yes,
Wow,
45,000 plants.
that's a lot. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, it's been a long year for me too. It's been a long year for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's, I mean, now you're more busy than when you were working.
that's correct. Yes, yes. I
Oh,
do
one of
have
the things that,
somebody.
that you mentioned is also, well, and that's the engineer, the agronomist that we recommend you. You end up working with him, an engineer in agronomy.
Yes, yes. They came to the property. They looked at, surveyed the whole property, surveyed the whole land, took samples from the land, and they gave me a detailed report, and what I could plant where, when, what fertilizer I should use, because the land does not have the same structure all over the place. The land soil composition is different on different heights of the mountain. So, yeah, they were, like a typical Colombian thing. They took a little bit time, and I got used to it last year itself that nothing can be done overnight. I got used to it. They took a little bit time, but when the report came out, it was worth the wait because it gave me all the details that I needed to plant and everything. And before the agronomist left, they told me where to plant basically, and I started with that plan, and the report supported that plan anyway. So I did not really have to wait for them because they told me you can start on this piece of property, you can start here by the time we send you the report. And the report was really, really excellent, excellent. All the graphs, all the fertilizers I should use, all the soil composition, and of course they followed up after the report by coming back to the land again and making sure I knew what I understood about the report. And if I wanted them, they're always available. They can.
Oh, yeah. And basically, because you didn't have a previous experience in the coffee industry or farming, or does just you was your desire to do it, and you are doing it basically.
That's that's correct. Yes, of course. Without the help, it would have been really difficult. But
Yeah,
uh, if you're buying something, and that's my advice to everybody who's watching the video, if you're buying anything, spend that extra money. It's well worth the money that you spend. You will get more than 100% of the money that you spend on Mauricio and of course the agronomist if that's what you're going for. Even if you're buying an apartment, it's well worth the money to spend.
okay, thank you. Yeah, basically, it's to avoid and save a lot of time. You said that you last like a year before at the end you basically decided to contact us, and we did the process almost in 3 months. Even that all the other issues will solve almost a year later. But we were also in contact, and we finally well came up with the solution. You could buy your land. You bought your land, and you start also that to put it to produce. That was your main objective. So well, Johnson, I think this is a very inspiring story. I appreciate that also you have the time to share it, and I also enjoy to work with you. And as we have been keeping in touch, I always be available for anything you need with your farm or in the future. So that's the kind of thing that I also think grateful to be able to help, not only just doing this as a work, but to keep uh, talking and keeping in touch with the people that I have the opportunity to help. So thank
Sure,
you,
sure.
and I hope you to visit you, and when I go to that part of Colombia.
Oh, sure, sure. You're welcome anytime. You know where I live, so you're welcome to anytime. But before we go, can I say something to the future expats coming over from Europe, Canada, USA,
Sure,
who
sure.
do not give any money. One thing that they tried to get me as they wanted money down. Once you give the money, you'll never ever see it again. I can guarantee you that. As I said, not all people are bad. Some people actually genuinely need the money so they can progress with the sale, but there is no way to differentiate it. There is just no way. Never give any money out. And fortunately for me, I have not been in that situation because I'm very careful as to when and how I give the money out. It's always by bank transfers, never cash, and always have an agent with me. Always. I never go alone for nothing. Uh, so that's my best advice I can give for all the expats that are coming down here. It's a beautiful country. You'll never have any issues. There is always problems with the roads and all those things, but something, you're retired. Hey, you can live with it. Uh, well, I'm living with it right now, so it's very very good.
Yeah, and well, something that also we didn't talk, but uh, as you mentioned, you are now not worried about politics or situation. Obviously, you care about your welfare and your security and these kind of things. But at the end, you're focused on what you want and enjoying what you have planned in advance for your retiring. So that's the important, no?
That's correct. That's correct. You worked hard for your money, you're retired, you're saving your money. You shouldn't give it away. Even if you fall in love with the house or the land or the real estate or whatever, and you say, "Oh, that's what I want," and you want to give the money to secure it or something, it's a very bad idea. There is a lot of land available. There is always another apartment available or something, but never give money away. That's my best advice I can give. And always travel in groups, never alone. They always travel in groups.
Oh, well, that's also a good tip because, yeah, it's not it's the same as being alone by yourself. And for many things, security, also knowing the people, it's better to be with someone with you, no?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. I have a lot of experience, good and bad, but fortunately, nothing has ever happened to me. And that's a good thing. But yes, I did have bad experiences. And that's why I don't go alone. I always know somebody either from the bank, a person, or from the local supermarket who I made friends with. And usually they help me out. So basically, I have for my car my own mechanic who's very straightforward and tells me what's wrong. I go to a different supermarket always now, so it's very easy for me to do business here.
Ah, okay. Well, and how's your Spanish?
Spanish is muy bueno, excelente.
Está muy bueno, está muy bien, claro. Importante también,
Uh,
¿no?
yeah, 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 yeah. Sí, 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 claro, sí. Yo hablo español, que dice muy fluente, yo entiendo mucho, y yo hablo español, sí.
Okay, yeah. Great, 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 Johnson. No, very nice to hear your story, and again, I know that it will help a lot of people also who are like in the fence of knowing what to decide in Colombia. Because one of the things that I also hear for foreigners is that they get in love with the country, they like, but they're afraid. But it only takes a decision and and start doing what you say, common sense, and go forward with what you want. Okay, so thank you, Johnson. I'm gonna see you. Hope to see you later in the future.
Sure, sure. And thank you, Mauricio. I appreciate your help. Thank you.